We got the most controversial welterweight on the planet, happens to be a world champ too, and a huge Trump supporter. And I'm feeding him grilled cheese. It's Colby Covington on Food Truck Diaries. Let's order some food.
Let's do it, baby. You guys hungry?
Grilled cheese?
Yeah, we can.
I like a girl that likes a good grilled cheese. Most of these girls want to get wine and dine at 5-star restaurants.
How you doing, brother? How about you? I'm assuming just your standard grilled cheese is the way to go.
Our most popular is the fully loaded.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
I want the habanero jack. And for me, the mac and rib, please.
Mac and rib?
Yeah.
Type move. Champ?
I'll just get the simple melt.
What kind of cheese you want, brother?
I'll do American.
Damn right. Well, yeah.
God bless America, baby.
All the way from Florida. I appreciate you coming out, brother.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't mess around. You bring the whole Colby train when you go places, man.
That's right, man. You got, like I said in my interview, you get off the tracks because you're gonna get ran through.
Now you're taking a lot of heat for that, obviously from the media, stuff like that. I thought it was brilliant. And do I support making fun of Matt Hughes? Not really. But when you're fighting Robbie Lawler, especially when you're in a fist fight, to me anything goes. So it was witty, it was funny, which I get down with. But also that's what you do, man.
Yeah.
Like even this, like I'll be like just completely honest with you, like even this, it's a little awkward for me, right? It's just because off camera, it's not because you're playing this to even a heightened sense, like everything. As soon as the cameras are on, you're a heightened sense of Colby.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what these fans pay their hard-earned money for. They're not paying to see people that are going to be like, oh, I'll fight anybody, or they're just boring. You know, you need to create yourself as a character, and it's the entertainment business.
It's definitely an entertainment business, and you've taken that and ran with it because it's not natural, especially for fighters, because it's not natural for a mixed martial artist, or especially a wrestler with a wrestling background, to be so flashy and to be kind of outlandish. So did you take kind of like, I guess, a chapter out of Chael Sonnen's book? Because you guys are close. You guys from the same area. Chael was kind of he was a wrestler where he's not a knockout artist, so this is one way to get people to tune in. Is that where all this comes from?
A lot of it comes from Chael. You know, I learned a lot of good things from him, you know, and pro wrestling, obviously 101, you know, the psychology of the sport, being able to get into these people's heads, and not just the fans, but the fighters. You see the way these guys come to fight me, they fight emotional.
Yeah.
And they think they're riding this high leading up to the fight. Oh, you know, I'm gonna kill Colby, I got all the fans, everybody's supporting me, but then they feel after they lose to me what it's like and on the way down after losing to me. And it's the same thing that Marty Fake Newsman's gonna have to deal with soon, and it's the same thing Robbie Lawler had to go through, it's the same thing Rafael Dos Nachos had to go through, it's the same thing Damian Maia had to go through. And
impressive list, my man.
This
thing only works, all this only works if you win them. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing.
That's true. Just like the Trumps, man, we're winners. Some people are addicted to drugs, some people are addicted to cheating on their taxes. Me and the Trumps, we're addicted to winning. That's our drug of choice.
Trumps are both. But so you know, do you feel more pressure? Because people are tuning in mainly, I mean, you have your fans, but a lot of people are tuning in to watch you lose. It's kind of Floyd Mayweather approach.
That's true.
So don't you feel like you're just adding more pressure?
I feel like I'm getting the dragon energy from the Trumps, you know? They're giving me this support, and they let me, I have the key to pretty much the United States. I can do anything, anywhere now by having their support, and having them coming out, giving me a talk in the locker room before the fight, having the president tweeting about my fight before my fight, having him call me directly after I get out of the fight, and then being able to go to the White House. Like, what's a more proud moment for an American than to go to the White House, hang out with the president in the Oval Office? It's like, it doesn't matter which side you're on. I mean, this is great things you're doing as an American.
Sure. That's fair.
And that's what hypes me up, man. I like the pressure. I do better under pressure.
I'm sure if you open, like, I know I have haters, right? I have haters.
For sure.
You have haters, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so when you open up your DMs, I'm sure it's just fucking brutal.
But
that doesn't bother you at all?
Have you ever met a hater that's doing better than you, though?
Not once, sir.
That's
why we're friends.
That's right.
However, I'm just saying, but you're a really good dude. So it is like if, let's say you hate The Undertaker because he's a heel. Well, it's The Undertaker, he's playing wrestling, whatever. Yeah. But to you, like, some people think this is really you. But when you lay your head down at night, aren't you just like, Jesus Christ, man? Did I have to go this route?
Not really, man.
No?
I enjoy it, man. I mean, these same people are the same people that are in their mom's basement. They're eating Cheetos, but they want to tell me how I should live my life.
That's fair.
These are the same people that have so-called journalism degrees, but they never went to school for journalism. And honestly, they have their feelings that get involved, and I don't let my feelings involve. This isn't a feelings business. This is the Ultimate Fighting Championships, not the Ultimate Feelings Championships. So all the people that are getting up in their feelings, that's your problem, man. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and this is business, and this is the entertainment business.
Do you read comments? Do you do any of that?
Nah, I ain't got time
You
for
can't,
that, bro.
but nor should
Come
you.
on, how am I going to have time for that when I got ladies to impress, the Trumps to make happy and do all these things around the world right now?
So your relationship with the Trumps, was it unexpected? Were you a fan before all this started?
I was always a fan, the way they do business, those guys are smart businessmen, and that's the kind of the model I'm doing. I'm trying to do business and create a good life for myself, where I don't have to fight the rest of my life or fight till I'm 40.
Yeah.
So seeing the way they do business was like an eye-opener, and then seeing what they've done for America. The Trumps have honestly made America better. Unemployment's at an all-time low. The economy is doing better than it's ever done, and I just appreciate their support, man. They took me in like one of their own. They didn't have to. All these NBA players, they're ragging on them. The NFL players, they're ragging on them. No one wants to go to the White House. So I took it as an opportunity as a real American. What's more American than going to the White House as a champion of America?
Sure.
So I appreciate everything they've done for me. They've literally taken me in like their own, and I can't thank those guys enough.
So like you said, they came to your locker room before the fight. This is Donald Trump Jr.?
Yeah, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Donald Trump's other son, and then Kimberly Guilfoyle came front row. They had their kids, Donald Trump Jr.'s kids were in attendance. Came in the locker room, talked to me before the fight, gave me motivation, and they even were like, we love you, Colby. We know you talk a lot. They were telling this to Ariel Helwani. We know he talks a lot. He talks a lot of smack, but he always backs it up, and that's why we respect Colby, because he's a winner just like us, and he backs up his talk just like they're doing. It didn't matter if I was fighting King Kong, if I was fighting Godzilla. No one was stopping me in front of the First Family that night when I fought Robbie Lawler.
Like what they say in the locker room, because I'm sure, they didn't grow up with kind of the nitty gritty like wrestling style as you did in Springfield, Oregon. So for them, I'm sure they're like, oh my God, like it's intense.
No, man, they're warriors, man.
Well, yeah.
I think they're legends, and what they do. I mean, they're hard-nosed people. Look, they didn't have to put themselves in the public eye and go into politics. They have enough money. They're multi-billionaires. They'll never have to see anybody again in their life. But they put themselves in the spotlight. They're risking taking all this criticism when they could have just had a happy life in the hills, never had to deal with this. So those guys are tough, man. They're fighters. They're just like me, man. They're fighting for America. They're fighting for their family. And so to hear their speech before, my fight, it really gave me a lot of extra motivation going in there.
It was a good speech?
Great speech, man. Just talking about being a winner and talking about, leave it all on the line for your country, and, think about the people that you support, the people that inspire you. Cam Hanes, this runner that I always run from Oregon, the troops, I support the troops. People don't know that I went and spent a week over in New York hanging out with the Marines, hanging out with the Navy, going out there for Fleet Week and spending a week out of my pocket. I spent money out of my pocket.
This
Brandon.
is my thing, Colby. So on the flip side of the media, right, they make you out to be this monster. But at the end of the day, and I might get shit for this, you're a really good person. We have a Cam Hanes is a mutual friend of ours. Cam Hanes can't say enough nice things about you. He says you go back home to Springfield, Oregon, you sit down with the kids from the high school wrestling and spend time with them and give your time to all those kids. So it's like, I get what you're doing. It attracts the trolls and the haters which tune in, which puts money in your pocket.
Yeah. But
Is your family frustrated?
No.
Because they know like it's all like kind of like it's what you have to do in entertainment fighting.
They see the paychecks that are going in my bank account, and they're like, okay,
Keep doing it.
Who cares what people think? Everybody has a different opinion, so, like, who cares? Like, you're not out here to make friends, you're out here to make money. So, at the end of the day, these people can write about whatever they want, but they're marks, and you know what a mark is. These are supposed to be journalists, but they're letting their opinions and their feelings get in the way of the way they're writing an article.
Yeah.
That's not real journalism. That's not how you would do it.
No.
So, I don't care what those people think. I'm going to keep doing me and being me, and if people have a problem with it, come see me in the Octagon, but there's not a man alive that can stop me right now.
So when you do this stuff, and then, because you're from blue-collared Springfield, Oregon, where, I mean, it's a small, 50,000 people? Small, man.
Yeah, it's small.
It's small.
Yeah.
Cam's from there, and are people like, oh, dude, are your friends, family, like, too much, man? Like, come on.
Yeah, to be honest, Brendan, I've lost a lot of friends, lost some sponsors, and people that don't align with Trump's, and they hate the MAGA gimmick, and they don't understand it. They don't understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and that's okay. That shows how fickle and two-faced and hypocritical they are. These are the same people that are cheating on their taxes, cheating on their wives, but they want to tell me about how I should go about my business and how I should conduct myself as a professional entertainer. I'm not cool with that, and that's why we're not friends anymore. So I really just found out who my real friends were. So, if they don't want to be friends with me for my opinions, we can agree to disagree on a lot of subjects,
For sure.
Brendan, but we can still be friends.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a mean argument every time just because we don't agree on something. We can just talk about something else.
But also, Trump's cut the man a check. How do you not have a Trump sponsorship?
That we're working on it. You might see me at RNC in the future speaking there.
All right.
I got the open invitation to Mar-a-Lago, and Donald Trump told me after I got out of the cage, he's like, I want to shake your hand again in the White House. So I'll be going back to the White House soon, and he's like, just don't break my hand when you shake it, Colby. And I'm like, Mr. President, come on. I felt those bricks for hands last time I was in
300 pounds.
That's
You're
what
gonna
I'm
be fine,
saying.
bro. Yeah.
I'm happy that he was merciful on creepy Joe Biden, because he would knock him out and lay him out cold. So,
Yeah, I stay away from that stuff. But you, again, it's a lot of pressure, man.
It is a lot of pressure, but pressure busts pipes or makes diamonds. So you're seeing a diamond in the rough right now being made, and I live a very smart life. I'm not going out putting myself in vulnerable situations. I came here to do this show because I respect you and everybody here.
Yeah, I
but
appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming out.
But I wouldn't be somewhere where it's going to be a vulnerable situation. Like I went to Sports Illustrated, and the guys are just like, "Oh, that hat, it's a symbol of hate." I'm like, "Okay, that's your opinion. To me, it's a symbol of unity." And I respect what it is. And he's trying to berate me in the interview. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. We don't have to talk about it. Let's talk about my fight. Let's talk about something real.
But I also think that's short-sighted. They're whatever, especially old school journalists. But I think also a lot of, whether they're journalists or they're just regular people who have shows, when you come on, I think it triggers people. If they don't realize what you're doing is part of a business plan, there's nothing you can say that can offend me. Nothing. Your stuff about Matt Hughes, I thought was hilarious. There's nothing that could possibly cross the line for me, because I know you're doing this to put money in the bank for you and your family. So that's your act. But there's certain people, like when you went on with Misha Tate, I think a lot of times the way you conduct yourself, for some people it triggers them. So when you come on, they're hostile.
And the thing
which doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense, because I always bring
It's like
truth.
getting mad at fucking Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you mad at, dude?
Especially because I'm bringing a lot of facts and truth. The Misha thing, she's mad at me for saying facts and truth, but she's talking shit about me, saying, oh, you're a disgrace to Western martial arts, when she's a shill for Atari and ONE FC, but she wants to hate on me for being controversial in this. How did you make your career, Misha? You made your career off being controversial with Ronda, talking shit to Ronda, and you're on the losing end of getting your ass whooped by Ronda Rousey, but you want to talk shit about me selling controversy and selling fights?
I think it's just triggering for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. They mark out, and they don't know how to hold their feelings inside. They let their emotions get the best of them when they should just think clearly and be smart about it.
Yeah, they really should. Let's feed you some fucking grilled cheese.
American grilled cheese.
I have a plain and simple cheddar. Some tater tots and welser.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Let's dive into this American cheese sandwich, dude. Now, I am on a keto diet. I haven't cheated yet, so I'm just going to be eating the cheese out the middle. Don't judge me, dude. Please don't judge me.
Never judge, bro.
Thanks, dude. I knew you'd be cool with it. I talked to one of the guys you train with, you've trained with, and he's from your same hometown, Cam Hanes, the ultra marathon runner, one of the best Americans on the planet. Such a badass. Me and him were talking this morning, and I said, what makes Colby tick? And he goes, I'll tell you this. This is why we're from a blue-collared city, a blue-collar town. He goes, less than 50,000 people. And he goes, Colby's work ethic, what he does entertainment, that's his thing. We don't really care about. But his work ethic, the way he conducts himself, the way he, the relentless pursuit of being a world champion is what that's why all of us support Colby. And he said, he's telling me a story that you guys were running up this mountain. And he said he doesn't think there's one, that he knows, he doesn't think there's one other UFC fighter who could finish this run that he does. So he says, you and him go up there, you go down, And he said like it wasn't an issue for you really either, which is insane because if you don't know who Cam Hanes is, look him up. He's an ultra marathon runner, runs like 300 miles a day, goes to 9 to 5, come back, runs again. He's insane. I call him the Kanye West of hunting, his own shoes and shit. It's crazy. Yeah, he's the best.
He's the best. He's an ultra beast, you know. He's got a saying, you know, keep hammering. And ever since I heard that saying, you know, it's really inspired me, you know, just keep hammering. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You know, doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Work harder. And to see his work ethic and him saying those things about me, like that really like gives me goosebumps down my spine, you know, because that guy at the end of that run, we run this 4-mile run up this mountain, straight uphill, 4 miles. We get down, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm ready to go eat. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go do another lap up the hill, and then I'm gonna go back to work, and then let's get a pump later tonight at the gym. I was like, dang, Cam, man, you don't ever stop.
Nuts.
It's nuts. And it's like, man, I'm the hardest worker. No one's ever outworked me, but being next to Cam, that's one guy in the whole entire world that I would say outworks me. And it's an honor and privilege to know him as a friend and be able to learn and be inspired by him.
How'd you guys get connected?
We got connected through a high school wrestling friend of mine, a guy named Tyler Everall, and we got connected probably 4 or 5 years ago, and every time I'm in Oregon, I always go back home to work out with him, either in the gym, we get a lift in, or go run the mountain. But that guy is someone I truly look up to, and he's probably one of the only guys I really idolize in this world today.
Yeah. And I was saying, anyone who's getting ready to fight you, dude, I would hire my own ultramarathon runner, because if you're running at that pace with that cardio, and obviously cardio is probably your biggest asset, your mindset and just your will to kind of break guys with the pace you set. I don't know why more guys aren't working with guys like Cam Hanes. Like Cam Hanes, he's obviously not going to work with anybody else, but there's other guys like Cam Hanes. I would definitely get on that ball.
Yeah, most of these guys' friends, they're in the club, they're out partying. You know, I got a super athlete friend in Cam Hanes who doesn't like to do those kind of things. He wants to go to the mountain and put work in. He wants to go push that mind. He's a living embodiment of how far the human spirit can push itself. Like, people don't realize that obviously your mind's going to give up before your body does. So the fact that he's mastered that and to learn those skills, like having him as a friend, and I really look at him as like a coach and a training partner as well. So I feed off him and I learn a lot of things from him, and that's why that separates me from anybody else in the UFC as far as cardio goes.
Yeah, you've always had cardio like this at Oregon State, wrestling as a kid, high school. Where's this come from? If you're me a wrestler, most wrestlers have good cardio. It's just what you guys do. But then the pace you put on Robbie Lawler was nuts, man.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people like to call it porn star cardio, and you know, I do a lot of work in the bedroom that really builds up that cardio, so I can go 5-10 rounds in the Octagon. But you know, I've always had that good cardio, but I built it up obviously with Cam. He helped me on the mountains. He helped me, you know, everyday work ethic and discipline and sacrifice. And that's why I am here today, and why no one can stop that cardio, and why I'm melting guys.
You're literally breaking guys. Like, I think we were watching, where was I? I was in Nashville. I had shows in Nashville, and your fight was on earlier. I was watching it, and my friend's a casual fan. And I was like, oh, I got to see the main event, man. It's Robbie Lawler, Colby. I got to watch this. And he's watching. He's like, wait, this guy's just going to do this the whole fight? I go, yeah, it's amazing. He takes these guys, he breaks them, keeps taking them down, breaks their will. It's amazing to watch. He's like, hey, he's not going to knock him out? I'm like, no, to me it's almost better than a knockout, because he's taking these world-class guys and he's breaking them with pace. Like, if you know what you're watching, it's insane to watch. But Robbie Lawler is not really a guy that breaks. Like that, for you to come up with a game plan, and I'm sure you guys trained together at ATT because he was there for a while. So, and they know how strong mentally Robbie Lawler is. I felt in the fight that Robbie Lawler was waiting for you to get tired. You could see he was like just waiting to explode. I was like, all right, second round, he's gonna get tired. Third round, all right, let's do this. Fourth round, dude, and then you just kept coming. So he could never really get off that big shot.
Yeah. And what people don't realize, like what I did to Robbie Lawler, like there's no fluke about that. You can land that fluke 5-second knockout, or you could land a fluke overhand punch. People could always say, hey, you know, you got lucky with one punch. You cannot say I got lucky. I completely dominated him from start to finish. You know, most strikes ever in a UFC fight, 533 strikes thrown and landed, and that's another history in the record books that I'm breaking. So, you know, people can say whatever they want about me, but my pace, like I set a pace that nobody can keep up with. You know, just like Cam Hanes sets his paces in his marathons, people can't hang with that pace. And they find out, they don't find out until they get to the octagon. They say all these things, oh, he ain't shit, he's just a talker, this and that. But then when they get in that octagon, they have to feel that pace. Then they know what it's like, and they break, and you can see it on their faces.
There is a guy with good cardio, not sure you're like, whatever, but Kamaru Usman does have good cardio. You guys both have wrestling backgrounds. You guys have similar styles, right? Is that fair to say? Neither one of you take a step back. Both you guys, both pressure, you break people. Like, what? Give me this. What Kamaru did to Woodley was insane. You won't do it.
He's a D2 scrub.
You won't do it.
He's a D2
you won't
scrub.
do it.
Dude.
Yeah, but Woodley's not.
But hey,
Woodley's amazing.
He did it to a Woodley that's past his time. A Woodley that's doing rap albums about me. A Woodley that's on TMZ. A Woodley that's an analyst for the UFC. He doesn't even train anymore, Brendan.
Sure.
He's cashed out. Tyron Woodley's not the same Tyron Woodley from 5 years ago. This is a different Tyron Woodley, so I don't see anything impressive in that win over Woodley that he has. And let's look at his fights before that. He took my sloppy seconds. After I absolutely decimated and destroyed Damian Maia, left him in a pool of his own blood in Sao Paulo. In Brazil, in his hometown, filthy animals. It's a dump. It's a dump. And he has to go up and take my sloppy seconds. And then he goes after another sloppy seconds with Ralphie Dos Nachos. The guy that was supposed to be the face of Brazilian MMA was going to save Brazil from Colby Covington, the king of Brazil. What happened? Again, I left him in a pool of his own blood in the United Center. And then what does Kamaru Usman does? He comes and takes my sloppy seconds again. Guys that were left for dead, he came and picked up the carcasses off my dead bodies that I left.
But don't you think, like, that's obviously the fight? There's no other fight to make. Like, that's the fight to make. Because you got to unify your belt. You guys have, to me, similar styles. Not that you would care, but the odds makers have Kamaru favored.
That doesn't mean anything. The odds makers are internet basement nerds. You know, they don't know anything. They've never been in a fight in their life. So who are they to judge the lines? But let's be honest, man. What about when Marty Fake Newsman fought Woodley and he was in a wheelchair after the fight? You remember that? He was getting pushed around by Ali Abdullah Sleaze in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Why was he jumping a 4-foot barrier in the Palms buffet line the next day, 8 hours later, trying to get my phone in my face? Colby, let's do it right now. I'm like, no, we're going to settle this in the octagon. We're going to do it like real professionals. And then now he's nowhere to be heard of. Anytime my name comes up, Marty Fake Newsman won't say anything about my name. He's ducking. He's saying this hernia. Bro, hernia takes 4 weeks. You've been out for 7 months. Where's all that energy now? Oh, I thought we lived 20 miles apart. He used to do anything to attach my name to his name to stay relevant. Because the only time he's ever got hype in his career is when he talks about videos about me, when he puts a tweet about me. So why won't he fight me now? Yeah, we need to unify these belts. I'm going to show the world I'm the real world champion. I'm America's champion. I'm the people's champion. I'm Donald Trump's favorite fighter. But when will he sign the contract, Brendan?
You tell me. When's the UFC want you guys to fight?
The UFC wants us to fight November 2nd in Madison Square Garden. So we're going to find out if he's a coward and if he steps up to the plate, or if, he gets off the tracks. There's one of two options. You either get on the track, you're getting ran through, camera, or you just stay off the tracks like you did earlier in your career, and I'll just keep passing by.
And you think you're going to do the same thing you've been doing to all the guys, just cardio, press them, break them?
I don't think, Brendan. I know. He's not stopping my pace. He's a D2 wrestling scrub. His wrestling is not on my level. His striking is amateur at best. I'm going to make him look like an amateur on that night, and I promise you that. He's going to be in a pool of his own blood. He's getting carted away in the octagon on a stretcher right in front of the First Family and the Don, Donald Trump.
I'm sure the Don will be, Donald, he will be there because New York's his backyard, eh?
New York's his backyard. The Trump Tower right down the street.
Are you going to stay at the Trump Tower?
Most likely.
Most likely.
Yeah, most
Dude,
likely.
Let me ask you this, because you say some outlandish stuff. Do you ever have to have security?
Yeah, I always have security, and just like at the last fight, there was like probably 20, 30 Secret Service in the building, making sure they're watching over me and the First Family. So.
What about when you were in Brazil, when you call them filthy animals? Was Dan Lambert, were you coming like, dude, what are you doing? Because I fought in Brazil, and I watched my P's and Q's. I was at the favelas giving kids shoes and equipment so they wouldn't kill me.
Right. No, it was very scary because, all the death threats I got, they couldn't even bring me to the press conference because they were like, there was a bunch of people outside with guns ready to shoot me. And then the Secret Service in Brazil had to take me to the airport, all the way onto the plane, put me on the plane. I'm in glasses, hat, in disguise. And they flew me out that night when I was supposed to leave a couple days later.
Is that not exhausting, Cole? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's...
You thrive off of it. You like that.
I love it.
What about your coaches, though? Were they like, dude, what are we doing?
I lost some coaches because of that.
Really?
I don't want to say names, but, they were
Probably
like...
Brazilian coaches.
No, American coaches. They just didn't want to be put in the spotlight.
It's a lot.
They don't want people to hate them. You know, they want to be known as like a good coach. It's a lot because now they have that pressure of, oh, you're coaching the bad guy. You're the piece of shit. You know, this and
That's
that.
such
Colby.
a shame, man.
I know, but you find out, you know, their true colors. You know, they're not supporting me for what I'm doing. I'm trying to do promotion. I'm trying to sell fights. I do talk a lot. But do I always walk my talk? I do. I talk the talk and walk the walk. I know I talk a lot, but what am I doing, Brendan? When I'm doing talking, I'm selling fights.
And you're winning, yeah.
And I'm winning and I'm promoting these fights. So if people have a problem with that, at the end of the day, we're gonna get locked in a steel cage in my underwear. So what's the problem about me saying a couple mean words? Oh, I'm a mean person?
I agree. You get
This is
it's all
crazy.
fair and love and more, my man.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys fight in November. I can't thank you enough for coming here, brother.
Thanks a lot,
I know you're a
bro.
wanted man.
Thanks a lot,
You're the
brother.
best.
You're the best.
Colby Covington, everybody.